Tonight, travel suspended to contain the spread of the coronavirus. The president orders no more travel between Europe and the U.S.
And as more cases pop up in Minnesota and Wisconsin, colleges take drastic measures, moving classes to online only after an extended spring break.
And later, flooding forecast as the snow starts to melt. We're taking a look at what the risk is in the Northland.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 10.
This is the most aggressive and comprehensive effort to confront a foreign virus in modern history.
Tonight, the president addresses the nation, updating efforts to fight the coronavirus. This as the World Health Organization declares a global pandemic and the NBA suspends the basketball season. Good evening. I'm Kristen Baki.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. President Trump called for unity while addressing the nation from the Oval Office on his administration's new steps to control the coronavirus outbreak in the U.S.
The death toll in the U.S. climbed to at least 38 people, with over 1,000 cases spread across about 40 states and the District of Columbia. Deborah Alferone is at the White House with more.
President Donald Trump announced a 30-day suspension of travel from Europe to begin Friday at midnight, with an exception for the United Kingdom.
And taking early, intense action, we have seen dramatically fewer cases of the virus in the United States than are now present in Europe.
The president also asked Congress for an additional $50 billion in funding for small business loans and says he will call on the IRS to delay the April 15th tax deadline for certain businesses and individuals.
I will always put the well-being of America first.
Stocks plummeted after the World Health Organization changed its assessment of the outbreak.
COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
At a hearing on Capitol Hill, the nation's top expert on infectious diseases issued a dire warning to lawmakers.
We will see more cases, and things will get worse than they are right now.
Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi have been meeting in person and over the phone to try and find some common ground over a coronavirus stimulus package. House Democrats say they have legislation that will call for free testing, paid sick leave, expanded unemployment insurance, and SNAP increases. They plan to bring it to a vote Thursday.
This is fundamentally what the American people need, and is fundamentally what the American economy needs.
The Capitol is expected to cancel public tours as entities around the U.S. take steps to mitigate the spread of coronavirus. Late Wednesday, the NCAA announced that only essential staff and limited family members will be allowed to attend March Madness tournament games.
The president's temporary ban on travel from Europe also does not apply to U.S. citizens who've undergone appropriate screenings. Health officials are expected to be back on Capitol Hill Thursday to face more questions on the administration's response to the outbreak.
Well, back here at home, the College of St. Scholastica is the latest Twin Port school to extend its spring break and switch to online classes only because of the outbreak. The school made the announcement this evening. CSS spring break will now run through March 20th. All classes will be offered in a virtual format until at least April 8th. During that time, students will not be allowed to stay in on-campus housing unless they receive exemptions from residential life staff. Non-essential employees will be encouraged to work from home. All upcoming college-sponsored travel is now suspended through the end of the semester, and college-sponsored domestic travel will be limited to business-critical trips.
St. Scholastica's decision comes hours after colleges in our area made similar moves.
Today, we learned the entire University of Minnesota system, including the Duluth campus, and most of University of Wisconsin campuses, including Superior and Madison, are all making those schedule adjustments.
CBS3's Jenna Wells caught up with students to get their reaction to big changes on the way.
Students at universities in the Twin Ports say they're frustrated. Their schedules now adjusted due to the coronavirus pandemic.
You pay to be here, and you're missing out on a big part of the reason you pay to be here, which is something that I'm a little discouraged about.
Buck Branny is a freshman at UWS. Their spring break is extended for a week, and when they come back, all classes will go online.
All of my classes are, I'm sitting in a lecture room being taught something, so Doing online lectures, if that's what it comes to, is going to be a little difficult because I learn best when, I can ask questions.
Amy Larson is a medical student at UMD. Their spring break is also extended, and she's preparing for online classes too. It's a tough change for her very interactive field.
I think it'll definitely be different. It won't be as much hands-on learning that we could do at the school. I think that our staff is going to find a way to find us the education that we need, though.
School leaders say they made the decision with student and staff safety in mind and will make changes if and when necessary.
Coming from like a health standpoint, I totally get it. From like a public health, I mean, we don't know a lot about this virus, so it's hard to say if it's an overkill or if it's like just not reacting enough.
I think they're jumping the gun a little bit, but I think there's a certain level that's acceptable. You don't want your whole campus getting sick.
Students say all they can do for now is stay healthy and wait.
I think it's just like a lot of unknown. Like we don't really know what the future looks like.
I have to play it by ear to see what actually happens, It's so unknown.
Officials at the colleges say they will continue to monitor the situation. If you'd like to know more, we've posted the full campus alerts on our website, CBS3Duluth.com.
All right, Kelly Hinson's here with some shocking news from both the NBA and the NCHC tonight. Kelly.
Not to be overdramatic, but really shocking. I mean, this is a day that will kind of live in sports infamy. At the start of the day, we were just talking about UMD, looking ahead to the playoffs, and we fast forward to the end of this day. The NCAA tournament won't have fans, and now the National Basketball League has suspended its season. The NBA announced that a player on the Utah Jazz, Rudy Gobert, tested preliminary positive for COVID-19. Shortly following that, the NBA announced it suspended gameplay following the conclusion of tonight's game until further notice, and the NBA will use the hiatus to determine the next steps moving forward. In addition to that, the NCHC is restricting this weekend's quarterfinal games. They will be closed to the public. According to the NCHC, UMD versus Miami will be restricted to only student athletes, coaches, event and team staff, credentialed media, and student athlete family members.
Wow. As you said, quite the change from how we were talking about things at 6 o'clock tonight.
Just a complete shift. It doesn't feel like this was a day, but here we are.
Here we are.
Well, more on the decision to hold off attendance for this weekend coming up in sports.
Okay. Thanks, Kelly.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a little time out and talk about weather here. We've got a rain-snow mix coming across thanks to a small trough of lower pressure that's up to our north. Last night at this time, we thought there would be two lows affecting our weather today, but the southern one went to the south, leaving that northerner all alone to bring us a 40% chance for a mix tonight and maybe upwards of a 50-60% chance as we go through tomorrow. So speaking of mixes, we see earlier in the evening very light snow showers pass through the Arrowhead of Minnesota and parts of the UP as well. And now along that frontal boundary, that little trough on the surface here, there's a bit of rain coming our way, so we could mix between rain and snow. Well, that live night look of Ely there is showing that it's pretty dark out that neck of the woods. But for Thursday, our day planner says the rain and snow mix is possible pretty much all day long. High temp will top out around 40 degrees. And once it does that, maybe it's going to take a tumble by Friday. We'll talk about temperature trends coming up in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Dave. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, what's the risk of flooding in the Northland this spring? We're taking a look next.
And later, an effort to make Hibbing High School more sensory-friendly for students. We'll take you inside.
Well, look at that. I'm back again already. High temp today, 39 degrees. The normal's 32. Should be cracking 40 for a few towns tomorrow. We'll take a look at that coming up after our break.
Live, local, CBS 3 News at 10 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS 3. Get your news on the go, the CBS 3 mobile app.
Vaping has been declared a national epidemic among youth. 1 in 3 high schoolers vape in northeastern Minnesota.
My child started having seizures from vaping. There's still so many unknown chemicals.
One vape cartridge has as much nicotine as at least 2 packs of cigarettes.
My child was hospitalized with severe lung injuries.
They said it was no big deal.
My child said it was no risk.
That it was under control.
That's what my child said. But what could I have said? Get the facts and talk to your child today.
Spring is right around the corner, which means special spring bonus savings are back. For a limited time, you can get an extra $1,000 in spring bonus cash on a new Ford SUV. The all-new Escape has tech to give you peace of mind behind the wheel, while the redesigned Explorer will adjust to every road and any conditions. See for yourself why Ford is America's best-selling brand. Now with an extra $1,000 in spring bonus cash, get $6,250 in total cash on a 2020 Explorer. Hurry in to your local Northland Ford dealer today.
Your water softener needs salt. You buy it, lug it, pour it, over and over. Save salt and the hassle with a Culligan high-efficiency water softener, the world's best. Click or call Culligan Water and start saving today.
Okay, in my Johnsonville commercial, they opened on a game show set in the 70s. Today we got Johnsonville smoked sausage made with 100% premium pork. Some brands mix meats and add fillers, but not Johnsonville. Contestant number 1 bids the closest, so he wins a boat. And he says, I don't want that boat. I want the sausage. What if I told you that boat is filled with Johnsonville smoked sausage? And that's a smoked sausage commercial made the Johnsonville way.
Duluth Casino is giving the house away. What? With over $100,000 in prizes. Every Thursday and Friday night from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m., we're drawing 35 prize winners for their chance to win up to $1,000 cash.
Wait, what? How many winners?
35 winners every Thursday and Friday now through March. Stop by the Players Club or log on to FondDuluthCasino.com for all the participation details. Thursdays and Fridays, we're giving the house away so you'll have a great time out at Duluth.
As most of you know, we've been having a pretty harsh winter, and a lot of people think, well, I'll wait until May and get my bike repaired, and we're saying, bring it in early. We have a full repair staff. You'll get the bike back quickly, so you'll have the bike when you want to start riding.
Watch Anthony Matt weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m. on live local CBS3 Duluth.
Short on funding and now a delay in construction. That announcement today from MnDOT involving the massive Twin Ports Interchange reconstruction.
The project driven by MnDOT has hit a lot of bumps in the road, leading to a $100 million funding gap. The purpose of the project is to make travel on one of the busiest roadways in the Twin Ports smoother and safer. But as CBS3's Jesse Slater explains, MnDOT officials say the excess costs were unforeseen.
The $343 million construction on the Twin Ports interchange was slated to begin this spring. But MnDOT officials now say that's not likely to happen due to a $100 million spike in costs.
We haven't added anything to this project ever. The detailed engineering, like when we look at all the engineering, we found just to map out the soil, has informed us what the work will cost.
MnDOT officials blame the funding gap on unknown costs to deal with contaminated materials and utility work.
You can imagine in replacing an entire interchange, it's really not as simple as we don't just unload cranes and backhoes and go to work.
MnDOT decided to delay part of the project dealing with the Highway 53 bridge and I-535 and Garfield Avenue interchange. Now, they say the majority of I-35 work will have to wait as well.
How very difficult this project is and how hard it was to anticipate the magnitude of some of the challenges.
The good news is I-35 won't be down to a single lane this year, helping reduce traffic headaches. MnDOT is hoping to start work in the fall.
Now, the CBS3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Well, let's talk about high temperatures today. After a cool start near the Canadian border, we went warmer than normal for just about every town in the region. Normal is 32. Ely, 41 degrees. 42, that happened down around Gordon and into the Lake Nebagamon area there as well. Superior region was pretty close to that too. 44 Hayward, 45 in Ashland, also towards Ironwood and Bessemer there. And even up the Gunflint Trail, 36 was warmer than normal as well. Temperatures tomorrow likely will be in a very similar range as long as the clouds are up. And as long as the clouds are up, there will be a chance for a rain-snow mix coming down. We'll take a look at the latest Doppler map in just a little bit. Here's the current conditions at the airport in Duluth. It's 36. 76 for the relative humidity and percentage-wise. Southwesterly winds going 10 miles per hour, and our air pressure on the lower side, yes, at 29.77 from a trough of lower pressure working along the Canadian border to bring us those clouds and a chance for a mix that may not begin till about 5 o'clock in the morning for Wisconsin and the UP, but may start to dribble a little bit in Minnesota shortly after midnight. Current temps, mid-30s for the Upper Peninsula, mid to upper 30s here in northwestern Wisconsin, including a 37 in Superior. And through northern Minnesota here, we're going from low 30s near International Falls at 31 to mid-30s in Hibbing at 35 degrees indeed. And scanning around here, I don't really see anybody pushing into the upper 30s on this side of the border. Low temps tonight probably will be falling into the 20s for some towns and maybe even clinging to the 30s for others. Again, thanks to that great equalizer up and above the cloud cover. And we're starting to see a little bit of a hole punching into the cloud cover as the first wave of this trough of low pressure brought a little bit of light snow and a little bit of light rain to portions of the area. Not too much really hit the ground, so we're not sweating it too badly right now, but the chance continues through tomorrow as the trough of low pressure continues to go by tonight and tomorrow. So it goes from a 40% chance tonight to a 60% chance tomorrow, and it could make things just a little bit on the slippery side, as it will take the entire day or so for this chance of the mix to pass by. Snow totals, mixed totals, what are we looking at here? Well, it's been back and forth on the models here all day long, and right now, through early Friday morning, it looks like northern Minnesota could go towards an inch or two of light snow, while east central Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the UP get a trace to about an inch. So it's not a huge deal, but still could be slippery, so folks, do travel cautiously. Tonight in Minnesota, your low temps go from the upper 20s to the lower 30s. 40% chance for the mix. 30% chance in Wisconsin tonight, low temps in the 30s there. For tomorrow, daytime highs, Wisconsin, Michigan with a cloudy sky and a 60% mixed chance going to low 40s. Minnesota high temps run from upper 30s to low 40s with a 50-50 shot at the mix. And if Thursday's a little bit gray and gloomy and a little bit slippery from the precip, it changes up on Friday. We cool down on one hand, but on the other, we push a couple of holes in the clouds. We cloud back up though on Saturday, and then our next round of snows here could come Sunday night through Tuesday, and that go-around could add up to an inch or two as well.
All right, thanks, Dave. Well, the official start to spring is just over a week away, but here in the Northland, we know spring can just mean big temperature swings.
Really big swings. CBS3's Caitlin Moffat spoke with the Duluth National Weather Service about why that could actually be good news when it comes to the flooding season.
The 2020 spring flooding concerns are somewhat at ease with the favorable weather patterns over the last couple months. Although, due to larger snow events in the beginning of winter, we still have plenty of snow to melt come spring.
We still have the deep snowpack out there. We have actually approximately about 6 inches of liquid water equivalent, so still plenty of liquid water contained in that snowpack to melt away.
With the overall threat for flooding decreased, there is still an elevated threat for river flooding. That is largely due to the wet and deep snowpack that we have still on the ground. Justin Schultz, meteorologist at the National Weather Service, says those areas with heightened concerns are across the east central, north central Minnesota areas.
Kind of at the headwaters of the Mississippi River, so areas down by Aitkin, Fort Ripley, down there by Brainerd, usually that's where we typically see kind of the problem spots for river flooding every spring.
Worst case scenario would be the consistent warm temperatures, but also seeing rain on top of that. Fortunately, this year, that hasn't been the case. The milder temperatures during the day and colder temps at night are in a way helping to slow down the snowmelt.
Temperatures that are above freezing during the day but below freezing at night, and that helps to generate a more gradual melting of the snowpack. When the temperatures dip below freezing, that allows that liquid water to kind of refreeze, kind of stay in place. That way it doesn't just all melt away.
Schultz says it's always good to be prepared for spring flooding and have a plan, whether that be flood insurance and to be aware of your surroundings.
Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, we take you inside a classroom at Hibbing High School aimed at making life a little easier for kids with learning disabilities.
CBS 3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
Join us for Lake Superior College's Aviation Career Night, Friday, March 27th, 4:30 to 7 p.m., located at LSC Center for Advanced Aviation. Learn about LSC's aviation programs, including professional pilot and aviation maintenance technician. Learn about admissions, financial aid, and more. RSVP today.
During the Ready, Set, Go sales event, score an awesome deal from Cary Toyota in Superior. Drive away in a new all-wheel drive RAV4 XLE for $249 per month, or save $4,000 to $4,800 on remaining new 2019 fuel-efficient Prius or Sporty Camry, and save big over $6,000 on this new all-wheel drive Highlander Limited. Toyota's Ready, Set, Go sales event now through March 31st. Hurry in to score your awesome deal from Cary Toyota in Superior, voted best car dealer in the Northland 21 times.
The fun never ends at Black Bear Casino Resort. With over 1,800 of the hottest slot machines and our thrilling selection of table games and 500-person bingo hall.
My place for gaming.
From casual to fine dining, satisfy your taste buds at one of our 3 dining venues.
My place for dining.
And relax in comfort with all of our first-class amenities.
My place to stay.
Looking for the party? Look no further than the Otter Creek Event Center.
My place for fun.
Visit blackbearcasinoresort.com and make the Bear your place.
Multi-course, one price, one destination. The Greater Downtown Council celebrates culinary mastery during the Spring Eat Downtown Duluth Restaurant Week, March 9th through the 14th, with lunch and dinner specials from these participating restaurants. Visit downtownduluth.com for Eat Downtown menus.
Your work is your name. You live by it. At Northland Lawn Sport and Equipment, we take our name, our work, just as seriously. John Deere excavators, skid steers, and loaders have the compact agility and big-time ability you need to finish the job. Comfortable, affordable, and backed by a 2-year, 2,000-hour full machine warranty. Standard. In-person service calls and parts delivery keep you work ready. Our techs are highly trained and incredibly knowledgeable. Northland Lawn Sport and Equipment. We make sure the work lives up to your name.
Don't waste your time and money at the chain store. They got the best auto parts, brake parts, suspension parts, and dealer parts too. The website's so easy to use. Lowest prices and fast delivery too. All the parts your car will ever need. All the savvy folks are buying parts at rockauto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez, on CBS3.
Up to 60% off on the North Face and Columbia winter clothing.
Always on the go, but want to keep up with the day's news? Don't worry. Now we are wherever you are. Traveling? No problem. Stream wherever, whenever with live local CBS3.
Link Rec is having our Clear the Deck sale. $4 million of new and used boats must go.
When students with learning disabilities are having a tough time in class, sometimes they just need a break.
A new classroom at the Hibbing High School is helping students create that space. CBS3's Emma Quinn shows us around the school's new multi-sensory room.
Finding a safe space when learning and life get tough.
A special education teacher at the high school and I were talking about ways we could help curb behaviors of some of the students that were having rough days, and the classroom just wasn't meeting that need.
Hibbing High School's new multi-sensory room has sounds, lights, and feelings.
It vibrates.
I like that I can program it to my phone to where I can find a type of music that they like better. So it's very diversible. We can just do multiple things with it.
The room was initially going to be used for students on the autism spectrum, but throughout the planning process, school leaders saw an opportunity to help students dealing with mental health issues as well.
When I thought of a sensory room, I thought of just kids on the spectrum, but then as I looked into it more, there's benefits for a wide range of student needs.
District leaders hope the new innovative room will help bring their 100-year-old school into the 21st century.
It has a lot of history. We try to keep it to the way it looked in the early 20s, but we also have to acknowledge that schools have to change with the kids' needs.
With hopes the sensory room will create a more positive learning experience for everyone.
By allowing them to come into this room and get the sensory input that they need, and then their peers see them in a whole different light. You know, they're not stressed out, they're not anxious.
School officials plan to open the room up to students next week. They've created guidelines for students and teachers on how to use the room.
All right, Kelly's here to talk about sports again. What's up, Kelly?
Crazy day. We
Yeah.
had state basketball.
Okay.
Do not forget about that down in Minneapolis coming up. We're going to have highlights from the girls' basketball games down at the PAV Plus preview, UMD at Miami this weekend.
Around here, we like our winters snowy, and we like them cold. Some might say that's not ordinary, but then this isn't your ordinary casino.
Experience Celtica Pipes Rock at Legendary Waters Resort and Casino, Friday, March 13th. Irish and American buffet at 7 p.m. with traditional fare and the Irish folk rock of Celtica Pipes Rock on the stage at 8.
Legendary Waters Resort and Casino. Escape ordinary. Experience legendary.
What are you thinking?
Thinking about burger, fries, and some pie.
You know it's 9 o'clock in the morning.
Well, then bring the pie first.
It's back and better than ever. Hurry in today for Perkins Burger, Fries, and Pie Combo. For a limited time, enjoy any burger, crispy fries, and a slice of our famous pie. It's dinner, dessert, and a deal. Only at Perkins.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about coming together. It's families, friends. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Right now, get a great deal on the durable Kubota RTVX. When there's work to do and a reputation to uphold, it's built to haul it all and do it all. Half-ton capabilities with attachments to get the job done right. And industry-exclusive heavy-duty features. It's North America's #1 selling diesel utility vehicle. Now get the RTVX for 0 down and 0% APR for 48 months or save $400.
No one serves you better than Lulich Implement.
Mark your calendars because on March 13th, Bayview School will be having our kindergarten roundup. Last names A to L come on down at 9 a.m. and M through Z at 11 a.m.
So Dish lets you share your TV with your family on multiple devices. Why?
Sweetie, forgot something.
Thank you.
Because we know one thing's for sure. It's a little less scary leaving home when you can take a little bit of it with you.
Share your TV on 5 devices. No extra charge. Dish. Tuned in to you.
Northland, when you want the most new country, make the switch to Cat Country 98.9 KTCO.
Never met a girl like you. What makes you country?
#1 for the most new country.
Now, CBS3 Sports with Kelly Hinson.
Well, obviously the biggest story of the day has been the impact that the COVID-19 pandemic has been. Locally, it is impacting the UMD men's hockey team and their first playoff games this coming weekend. The NCHC announced today that they are following the practices of the NCAA. They have decided to close games to the public. Attendance will be restricted to only student athletes, coaches, event and team staff, credentialed media, and student-athlete family members. Fans looking for a refund on their tickets should consult the UMD ticket office. It should be noted also that you can catch the game on our sister station, KBJR 6, this weekend, Friday and Saturday. Should Sunday's game need to be played, it will be on My 9 Sports. Switching gears, the big dance down in Minneapolis began today. The Minnesota State High School girls basketball tournament featured 3 of our area teams. Duluth Marshall trying to hand New London Spicer just their 2nd loss of the season. It was a back and forth affair in this one. Second half, Grace Kirk gets a pick and hits the wide open 3. Hilltoppers with the 4-point lead. Moments later, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. Kirk gets another pick and converts on the floater. Marshall goes on with the huge upset in the first round of the state tournament. They are on to the semifinals with the 60-56 win. Congratulations to them. The Hermantown Hawks with a tough test taking on top-seeded De La Salle. Opening minutes of the game, Hermantown keeping pace. Cora Parkinson to Britta Birkeland. She fights her way through traffic and lays it in. Hawks take the 4-point lead. They kept it close. Ellie Schmitz would drive through the lane and lay it in. Schmitz led the way with 16 points on the day. Hermantown trailing by 3 at this point. Closing minutes of the half, Hawks fighting from behind. Ava Asgard with 3 defenders on her, fights for the board and puts it back. Hermantown trailed by 9 at the half. To the second half, Hermantown struggled to get anything going offensively. Birkeland got this one to go. They were down at 14 at that point. Hawks fall 85-52. They will now head to the consolation bracket. Boys Class 7A semifinals, the top-seeded Esco battling Duluth Marshall at Romano Gym. First half, Eskimos with a 2-point lead. Check out the pass here by Eli Blue, who goes behind the back to set up Riley Fisher for 2. Esco with the 4-point lead. Later on, now a 3-point game. Marshall battles back as Jasper Tim knots things up with a triple. Under 10 to go in the half, Esco retakes the lead. Fisher comes up with a steal and dishes it to James Lagarde for the layup. It would take overtime. Esco advances with a 60-64 win. In the other semifinal, Virginia taking on Piers will pick things up in the second half. Piers with a big margin. Jaden Bernard backs down his defender and converts on the fadeaway and gets the foul. Later, Virginia still putting up a fight as Nick Peters takes a dribble, then pulls up for 3 and hits it. But the Pioneers would just be too much down the stretch. Kyle Well drives to the hoop and puts it in for 2. That makes it 81-49. Piers, they move on with the 88-60 win. So it's the Pioneers and the Eskimos on Friday night at Romano Gym. That's going to do it for sports tonight. We'll be right back after the break.
CBS3 closed captioning is brought to you by Essentia Health, St. Mary's Heart and Vascular Center. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in the U.S. Ask your doctor how to keep your heart healthy.
We know it can be scary when you're injured in an accident.
We know the insurance company can be unfair.
We know that bills need to be paid.
But we also know what it takes to win.
We know what it takes to get our clients compensated.
And most importantly, we always fight to do the right thing for our community.
Nicolay knows.
Nicolay knows.
Nicolay knows. Nicolay knows injury law.
Nicolay Law, Duluth and Superior's award-winning injury, disability, and bankruptcy law firm.
Years fly by. Your retirement date keeps getting closer. Rather than spending another year worrying about retirement, get a second opinion on your financial strategy. Let us answer your questions and show you how tax reduction strategies can benefit your retirement. Go to MPPLFinancial.com to download our free tax reduction checklist. Then call MPPL Financial this week for a complimentary second opinion consultation. A second opinion could be your best 2020 financial investment.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Yeah.
With great deals, get ready to turn your dreams into reality.
Right now, you can get $1,500 customer cash on a new 2020 Toyota Tacoma, or get $2,750 customer cash on a new 2020 Toyota Tundra.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
Toyota, let's go places.
New ownership means new inventory. Link Rec is having our Clear the Deck sale. $4 million of new and used boats, engines, and accessories must go. All discounted with savings up to $22,000. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime sale. Something for everybody, something for every budget.
The fun never ends at Black Bear Casino Resort. With over 1,800 of the hottest slot machines and our thrilling selection of table games and 500-person bingo hall.
My place for gaming.
From casual to fine dining, satisfy your taste buds at one of our 3 dining venues.
My place for dining.
And relax in comfort with all of our first-class amenities.
My place to stay.
Looking for the party? Look no further than the Otter Creek Event Center.
My place for fun.
Visit blackbearcasinoresort.com and make the Bear your place.
Continental Ski is having a store-wide winter flash sale March 14th and 15th. Check out our wide selection of winter gear and save 40% off all winter apparel, skis, and accessories. The winter flash sale only at Continental Ski and Bike in Duluth, Minnesota.
Men's wardrobe provided by Mainstream Fashions for Men. Our buy one, get one for $1 suit and sport coat sale is now in progress. Hundreds of options. Mainstream, downtown Duluth.
Well, today's a day to celebrate an icon from American history. It's National Johnny Appleseed Day. He may seem like a fictional guy, but actually he was real. Born John Chapman in 1774, the nomad walked often barefoot across the nation and the frontier, planting trees and pears. March 11th is National Johnny Appleseed Day because it's during planting season. It's also celebrated on his birthday, which is September 26th. Hey, and fun fact, the apples he planted, they were too bitter to eat. Instead, they were used to make cider, a safe alternative to drinking water on the frontier. And you can mark the day by enjoying an apple cider or hard cider if that's your preference.
Hey, either or.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, are we still looking at some rain coming our way?
Yeah, it's looming on our horizon. It could be with us after midnight, first in Minnesota, then tomorrow morning early on into Wisconsin and Michigan. 50-50 shot it's going to strike as the day goes on. Could add up to a little bit of snow, especially north of Duluth, so travel cautiously, especially on the commute coming home tomorrow night. But then by Friday, it'll clear up at least partially, but also cool down to 30 for a high, which is cooler than normal.
All right, thanks for joining us.
Happy Wednesday. It's all downhill from here. I'll see you tomorrow.